Well, difficult people are typically people that are annoyed or perhaps a little rude or something like that. When it gets away from the difficult and gets into the dangerous, that's when you're talking about somebody that may appear to be in an altered state, perhaps.
Try to diffuse the problem by talking to the person. Try to get him to settle down. Try to get him to talk about something else and get his mind off of it so you can get on with your route and get everybody where they need to be.
We do have a code that helps our drivers if they feel they're in a threatening situation. That flags the dispatcher to immediately call Vale Dispatch and not to ask any questions over the radio, so it doesn't put the driver in a situation where the passenger knows what they're doing.
They need to look for things that are out of the ordinary, because every day we get kind of lulled into a type of complacence, because things are just the same day by day by day. Oh, something's out of place here. What's that big package doing there? Wasn't there before? Why is it here now?
Since we have so many buses out on the highway, our buses usually see something when it happens before anybody else does. They'll call into dispatch, and then in turn our dispatch will call into the police and fire dispatch, and they will report where the accident occurred, how many vehicles, if there were any injuries, what kind of assistance is needed.
One time before, they had a fire at a senior housing complex, and they knew we had buses with lifts. So they called on us. We had about 7 or 8 buses out there. We transported probably 200 or 300 people.
Things happen sometimes that you don't expect to happen. Like somebody could fall and hurt themselves and maybe cut themselves, and in the event that would happen and they would spill body fluids. The most important thing you need to know is you need to create a barrier between yourself and those body fluids, and you do that by using the latex gloves.
Typically, an emergency, no matter how serious or non-serious it is, just by the fact of the word it's an emergency, causes some people to panic. And so many times they're not real level-headed in their thinking at that point, and so we've got to be the buffer in all dimensions in that respect, as far as keeping a level head and keeping them settled down and giving them instructions on what you want them to do.
As a driver, everybody probably is geared into thinking about the vehicle. But once the vehicle is at a stop and is reasonably secure, your focus has to shift to the passengers. There are a lot of things that have to be done in a short period of time. One is obviously to get on the two-way radio and notify dispatch, because they're most capable of getting emergency responders to the scene. The second thing I would do would be to assess the situation with my passengers to see if anybody was injured or anything like that.
If it's something that's going to be an immediate health issue, like a bus on fire or a crash that caused injury, well, of course the first thing we want to do is get the people out into a safe place and then call for emergency help.